Hi beauty fam, welcome back to MikiCarrBeauty. I'm Miki, and on my channel I love to talk about luxury skincare and beauty. Today I'm testing out the Hermes Plein Air, the Healthy Glow Mineral Powders, and I ended up picking up two shades, and I picked up 04 Sienne and 03 in Sahara. So I'll be doing a wear test and letting you know what I think about them, what I think about the products and what they claim, and then do some comparison swatches as well. So make sure to subscribe and click the notification for all so you get notification when I upload videos, and then comment and like below because it really helps out my channel. Would so appreciate it. And below I always have my closest foundation shades, so to help you out for comparison whether or not this product is for you. And let's begin. So I ended up getting two of the Hermes bronzers, and they're actually called the part of the Plein Air complexion range, which I actually have never picked up any of the other products, but this is the first one that I was actually interested from Hermes to try. So it's part of the H Trio collection, and these are considered mineral powders. And I'm looking at a website here. Healthy Glow Mineral Powder works as a subtle bronzer to bring natural warmth to skin, and this is the color 04 Sienne, subtly enhancing the shapes and contours of the face with a hint of iridescence for complexion that looks like good skin while blurring imperfections and evening out skin tone. Within the compact, there are three harmonious shades that can be used individually or blended together. There was also an illuminating power, and I was not interested in getting that at all. It's just kind of not my thing. And it has this beautiful H for Hermes in the middle, the motif. It is a magnetic closure. And then it says there's a discreet hook right here, which I don't really know what they mean, but there's a little divot here that helps you open it. Also for sale is a brush, and I was not interested in getting that. So I have never gotten any of the blushes or any of the Plein Air complexion products. It's just something I'm not interested in, but for these I was definitely interested in bronzers. I really do enjoy bronzers. And then I had read that these were also blurring, so I went ahead and got these at Selfridges, and I'll put the cost below. And I wasn't sure which color to get, and I knew I was probably somewhere between the 2 and 4 range, and I didn't want to have to work to make the work, so I just went with what would normally be the middle or traditionally medium, and then I did number 3 Sahara, and then 04 Sienne. This is basically kind of my skin tone, and this is like much more red. And even within these colors, there's like 3 different tones. So I will show you the 3 different colors here. So it's kind of hard. It's not that the design isn't really meant for you to go in individually. I can imagine a person not going into all 3 colors. They're just going to end up swirling. So I'm swatching the side, which is the lightest, the middle, which is, or whatever is in the H here, and then the brackets here. So, and it's these 3 colors. And really they look the same. So let's just see if we can do some swatches here. That's supposed to be the deepest, the middle, and the lightest. To try to do a little bit better swatches. That lightest one is really hard to get to because there's really not much room for one to get their hand in there. Okay, so again, the deepest, that's the actual H, and that's the lightest. So you can see really the lightest is really much my skin tone. It's very warm leaning. So that's 03 Sahara. And how it looks in the pan does not look like how it goes on as a swatch. So something to note there. These definitely have a smell. This is like their classic Hermes perfume smell. So I'm gonna swatch 04 Sienne, and it definitely looks like there's a little bit more glitter on this one. Maybe I'm just not seeing it in the 03. On 04 in Sienne, do what I did over there. So deeper, mid-range, and then the lightest. And this is definitely more neutral on me, and this is more orange. So this is Sienne 04. And this is Sahara. And I would say that's why the pictures were so hard, because they all look pretty light, and that's maybe has to do with the formula. Even when I was looking at them, it's kind of hard to see. So again, this is 03 Sahara and 04. And you can tell there is a marked difference, but on the website, you really can't tell. For me, it's not going to be possible to get the individual pans out of here. So I'm just going to swirl it. And I think that was probably what I would likely use, how I would use it the most. So what I'm going to do is use my Chikuhodo, I'm going to use my Chikuhodo brush, and I'm wiping it down and then swirling as much as possible, just this Sahara all around. And it's pretty pigmented, so I don't have any bronzer on or blush, just my foundation, and I'm going to just tap that in really gently. It does have a scent. It's the Hermes scent. It looks very gentle, but you can see it's also very orange. So far I'm loving this Chikuhodo brush. It's the Fox series. Actually, I'm finding this to be, could be my replacement of my favorite bronzing brush. Okay, so that is 03 Sahara. It's very orange, and you can't even see that it's going to show up as orange with this product. It's so interesting. So this is the deeper of the two. This is 04 Sienne. And just so you know, my closest foundation shades matches are in the description box, so you can scroll down. And I also don't self-tan, so you'll see some YouTubers who will say they're medium tan and actually they self-tan. So that's always really hard for me to do shade matching, because even if you're a light-skinned person who's self-tanning, how the colors show up on you, because it's not your natural skin, it shows up a lot different. Okay, so I'm just going into this 04, and I have a feeling it's going to be super pigmented. And I cleaned off this brush. It's very much more orange. Can you see that? So this is 04, and this is 03. So I think someone who's actually deeper tan, I'm like a light tan, this would look good on you. And I know some of our deeper skin and deeper tone beauties are like, they need more shade range. That's for sure. I would say this so far on first impression, like, don't be fooled by the color in the pan. Like, these look super light to me, and this is pretty intense. So try out maybe 5, or just see what other reviews are coming around for 5, because this is kind of surprising to me. I thought this was going to be my match number 4, and I think it's just too intense. So I'll get up so you can see. And I've definitely over bronzed just for the sake of the video. 03 Sahara, and this is 04 Sienne. I hope that's helpful. 04, take my tried and true MikiCarrBeauty, and then Chantecaille blurring powder, and this is like such a great powder. It just kind of tampers down when I end up when I've used too much makeup. So I'm gonna leave that there. I'm not gonna touch that, but I'm gonna go over this, the blurring balm powder. There's definitely is a soft blur effect. I can tell. Like I could keep building this up and it's really nice. So it's not a flat matte. I think there's like some iridescence on there if you can see. This is reminding me a lot of the Tom Ford Gold Dust bronzer, or I would even say the Cle De Peau, at least in tone. The Cle De Peau is shows up very orange on me. And these bronzers tend to run, I can see already for me, at least they tend to run warm. Okay, so I'm gonna finish the rest of my makeup and then head out. Finish up with an Hermes lipstick, and this is like my favorite Hermes. This one, this is Rose Spice number 21. Very well loved and used. Okay, that's my final look, and then I'll be back later to do a check-in, and then I probably would do another wear test of this. Let me know what you think. It's definitely blurring. It does have a smell, like it's like the classic Hermes smell. It's the perfume they put in their products. I'm not too bothered by it. I've had actually worse, so, but if you're bothered by all perfume, you might not like this. Hi Beauty Fam, it's about a 7.5, 8 hour wear time with this bronzer. It's looking actually pretty good. I think I still prefer this side. It just looks a little bit more seamless. And side is looking a little ragged. So I haven't powdered my face, and this is after me running around, having dinner, and then going to an orchestra performance, seeing a friend from high school perform in a volunteer symphony orchestra, which was fantastic. $10, right? And it was a full 2-3 hour concert. And anyway, my hair is up because I'm about ready to take off this makeup and then get ready for bed. But let me just show you really quickly studio lighting, of course, because it's already late and dark out. And this has always been my trouble side. This is the side where you're going to see more texture, and that's just not has to do with necessarily anything with the product. This is 3, this side. And the scent doesn't really go away, but actually I kind of like it. It's not as strong as, now I just brushed this off, now I'm going into 4. It's not as strong as, say, La Mer, which that one never goes away, that foundation smell. Yeah, I almost feel like, do you see how much more orange that is? I think only this would be good if I'm tanner. I think for me, if you're close to my shade range, 03 is going to be your color. And then if you're deeper than me, like 1 to 3 shades deeper than me, I would say Sienna for sure, like the deeper side. But here's the thing, what I'm already like first impressions, and I'll try these again tomorrow because I want to wrap up my review. And I'll do like, I'll keep trying these over the next couple of weeks. I think these bronzers run very, very warm, meaning they tend to turn orange on me. Some bronzers are more red or just neutral, but these run for some reason orange. And it's not my favorite, but this is the kind of bronzer where I could wear this and I don't have to wear a blush. So I don't mind it, but it's kind of like a preference. Some people really don't like red toned or warm orange tone bronzers, for me, I know I prefer generally just more neutral. But that's just a preference thing. I think in terms of blurring, I think it's really beautiful. I think it definitely does blur. And if you can find your shade, if there's one for you. Okay, so I'll try this again tomorrow and then finish up my review. Hi Beauty Fam, so today is day 2 of trying out these new Hermes Plein Air bronzers. The actual name of these is Hermes Plein Air H Trio Healthy Glow Mineral Powder. So they don't necessarily say, I don't think, that these are bronzers. I'm going to read to you the packaging. H Trio, a harmony of 3 subtle shades to be used alone to sculpt facial features or as a trio for an all-over natural sun-kissed finish. Okay, so I mean, they're like saying it's a bronzer without saying it's a bronzer. So this is 04 CM. And from the package, I'm reading from the back, it is saying that it is a semi-matte mineral powder, trio of sunny colors, natural sun-kissed finish, gentle formula made with 86% ingredients of natural origin, contains hyaluronic acid derivative, enhances all skin types, even sensitive. Okay, so I'll go over that at the final review. I already have some thoughts. So the first part of the review, you'll see me try it for the first time, and then I had about a 7.5, 8 hour wear test, and then me at the end of the day. Let's talk about the design and the three colors. I think it is so beautiful. They did a beautiful job on the packaging and the presentation. It definitely has that scent of Hermes that is very much on brand, and I don't actually, surprisingly, don't have any other blushes just because I own so many blushes, but I also had watched a lot of reviews about the blushes and it never really appealed to me. I went to in-store and I have a lot of those colors already, and what I look for in blushes are unique colors that I don't have in my collection, and that's why I love Suqqu so much and Pat McGrath. So the color range that they had in Hermes was just, there were colors I had before, and a lot of the reviews were mixed. If it was ever to go on sale, I probably would get it. Just from, if you follow me Instagram, and here's my handle below, you know that I have a lot of bronzers. If you're on Instagram, you saw me post a lot the bronzers I have, and I would say, yes, I have more blushes, but I love bronzers. So the design, it's beautiful. It's for marketing. Functionally, does it work? I don't think so. Like, I can't imagine using any brush to get any three of these different shades and tones of bronzer separately. I even tried swatching them separately and it was very difficult. I don't think I can really separate these colors. So, and I have had actual difficulty even swatching these separately yesterday. So I know this is really pigmented already. So what I grabbed for is a squirrel hair. So one thing I can say about these is that the color payoff on this is much deeper than I think it is, and they should probably expand their shade range, but this is much deeper than I thought it would be. So what I'm gonna do is take my Chikuhodo Z8 brush. I think it's a Z8, so it's the cheek brush, but I can also use this as a bronzing brush. So I'm just sweeping it all over gently, and it's picking up that a lot of the product here. So I'm just kind of just doing this all over. And you can see where most typical brushes are not going to be able to just isolate one of the three shades. That would have to be a different design altogether. So the mirror is nice and big, but it's not as big as I would want since I'm doing my face. I'm actually going to grab my Chanel mirror for my bronzer, which I love this mirror. It's huge. This is the color 04 Sienne, and just start to gently tap it. Okay, I'm going into the same bronzer, just getting a little bit more product. And on my skin tone, it almost looks like a blush, and it's beautiful. When they talked about it being blurring, it is blurring, and this is probably in addition to why people are spending this much on Hermes. Like, I'm at the age where, and I'm sure there's other beauties that are older than me, that anything blurring, they're gonna spend money on. So, is it blurring? Yes, check, for sure. So, I actually think this is a beautiful color almost for a blush. It's like an orange. It's definitely more red, pink. Okay, so I'm gonna go in and swirl some more, just so you can see how much this can be built up. I think as I get more tan in the summer, this is going to be the one I can use, but I really don't need both of these colors. So you can see it's much more red, but I think it's really, really pretty. I mean, this looks really, really pretty. I'm having a hard time thinking which one I like better. This definitely has a little bit more red, and I think if you're a deeper skin tone than me, you might definitely want to think about picking this up. I would say if you're my skin tone or lighter, go with the 03. What I'm gonna do is take a similar brush, but not the same. I'm taking my Lunar New Year, Year of the Rabbit brush. This is also a Chikuhodo brush, and it's squirrel hair, so it's also really light. So this is the 03 Sahara, and again, I'm going into this really, really lightly and just going in very delicately. What I'm doing is actually pinching the ferrule. And again, I'm just going in all the way with this. You can see that. And then I'm pinching the ferrule a little bit just to get a little bit more precise bronzer placement. There you go. And I'm not wearing any contour or blush. This is just me with foundation and then using the product. Because I want you all to see really how this product is faring. So this is 03 Sahara and the other is 04 Sienne. This is much softer, and I think both are really beautiful. I'm actually torn of which one I like. I think I could get away with either one. And I put my hair up today compared to yesterday where I had it down because I thought maybe you would be able to see the product better with my hair up. So this is really hard to decide to tell you which one to go for. Well, let me do some swatches and then we can talk about the product. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do individual swatches like I did yesterday. I'm actually just going to swirl the product and then do a swatch. Okay, so this is 04 Sienne, and then I'm going to do 03 Sahara. You can see 04 is much more red and 03 is much more neutral. But like, look at my, and this is also why I wore a different shirt today instead of a sweater. You can see that 03 starts to get to be my actual skin color. Just a smidge. And I know as I get more tan, this is gonna disappear on me. That's the thing. This is 04 and this is 03. And you can see it, yes, it's much redder. And it's a soft matte, and there's a bit of a luminosity to it. Do you see how that looks? It's not like a flat matte. And so what I did is I pulled out all of my bronzers. So I'm just going to go through them. And I have cream bronzers, and I didn't pull those out because I'm swatching based on these being just powder. So this is my Sisley bronzer. They unfortunately only have one product. This is the Baked Gelée. And this is definitely kind of like an all over powder. It's not a flat matte and it's very iridescent. So this is Sisley. And you can see it's a little bit more iridescent. And then this is believe this is a Baked Gelée formula. This is so beautiful for all over. There's some bronzers I use just for targeted for just up here, but this is so beautiful for all over your face. I'm going to pull Serena from Chantecaille. Again, that's that Baked Gelée formula. I used to have Goa, but it fell out. That's the thing about the Baked Gelée, which is not great, is that once it falls out, there's no rescuing it. Okay, so this is Serena from Chantecaille. Definitely more, just like more brown. Sorry, I'm trying to getting some autofocus issues here. So it's a little bit more dull, more brown, less orange. And also this is also, it's got a slight shimmer, but it's not completely flat. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab my Cle De Peau. It's the 02 bronzer by Cle De Peau. And this is a very orange bronzer. And this is the kind of bronzer where you can use, the way the design is, you can do two separate ones and then I'll swirl it, okay? So up here, and then swirled. So I'll do back here, down here, very orange. And this is swirled. And this is definitely more of a flat matte. This is my least favorite bronzer just because I find it really hard to control. And it's very orange. It's this color here that just kind of ruins the bronzer for me. And there's something about it being so matte that it falls flat anytime I put it on. And you can just see the texture is not all that great. Okay, so Cle De Peau. This is Hermes 04 Sienne and 03 Sahara, and then Sicily Chantecaille. And I'm grabbing my Chanel Le Beige Oversized Healthy Glow Powder, Sun Kissed Powder, and Sun Bath Deep. That's what that looks like. And I'm going to put it here, actually next to the deeper one. And it's less orange. You can see, actually, it looks more like Serena. There we go. And this one's really deep for me. I have to go really delicately on this one. This one, Tom Ford, this is Gold Dust. And this was like my favorite bronzer for the longest time. And that is Gold Dust. It's definitely the lightest out of all these. And I think that's probably why I stopped using it, but it's very pretty, like an all over. And then the last two I'm going to grab are my 03 for Victoria Beckham and 04. And this is going to be a little harder to swatch, so let me wipe my hands. So one is the contour shade and one is the bronzer shade. And often I just really use both, but I can do a swatch of both of these. And then what I do is that, okay? That is 03. And this is the Hermes. And it's not as orange, you can see. It's a little bit more neutral. And that's a matte formula. That's the thing. This is like a semi-matte for Hermes. This is like definitely a matte formula from Victoria Beckham. And I'm going to carefully take out this one. This is the contour, and this is the bronzer. And then I'm going to do both of these. It's definitely deeper, so I'm trying not to lose track. These are the two Hermes. And you can see these are much more orange. So in terms of color, I would say it's closest to the 04 in Victoria Beckham because it's so orange. You can see that at the end, that's 04, and these are the two Hermes. It doesn't look so much like 03 on me from Victoria Beckham. And then maybe the Sicily. In terms of formula, I actually think it's really close to the Sicily formula, where there's almost like an iridescence to it. You can see where it's starting to warm up. And like, I haven't powdered this down. This is just really what happens. 10 minutes have passed and I have my natural oil start to peek through. Okay, so here I am in more natural light. I start to lose daylight in the afternoon, so as everyone. So this is the 03 Sahara side, and this is 04 Sienne. And it's much more red, but it's so interesting the way this camera picks it up. I think they both look really pretty. And just so you know, this side of my face, this is the side where I have more texture. So the bumps you see, that is not the product. That is me with my acne scars. And you know, that's probably a good thing you're seeing this, because you can see how it's looking on real textured skin. This is like my nice side. No, 03 and 04. I almost like the 04 side just because it is a little bit more red, but that's not a bad thing. This is one of the bronzers where I don't have to wear a blush with. When I get warmer in the summer, that the 03 isn't going to be warm enough. And I really don't like that because then I can't use my bronzers. Okay, so this is the 04 side again, and this is 03. In real life, when I'm looking at the mirror, I can see this looks a little bit more brown and this is more orange, but it almost looks on me a little bit muddy. So I might actually really start to use 04 more. And a bunch of you have asked me like that you're the same skin tone or similar to me, which one should you get? My question to you would be, as you tan up during the summer or in the sunny weather, if you're vacationing or in the summer months, do you tend to turn more warm or just get more red? Because that's going to really decide what color to get. So for me, I'm like in between because I went on holiday to Hawaii. So I'm actually somewhere in between my winter and summer shade, that I could see definitely this 03 isn't going to be so useful for me when I finally start to get a tan. So I would say that I actually like 04 more. So if you're deeper than me, even a shade deeper, and my closest foundation matches are below in the description box. If you're even a shade deeper than me, I almost think you should go for 04. That's just me. That's how I use my bronzer. Some people really want a light application and want it to look really natural. I'm not like that. I like if I can sometimes skip blush because I really like bronzer. I would like to really chisel and really sculpt my face. So I want a little bit more of a, not a natural bronzer, if that makes sense. I definitely want more of a kind of look, if that makes sense. So I kind of like this. It's so funny, like it's just the 04, it looks a little bit too brown and muddy for me, whereas this looks really nice, if that makes sense. This is 03 and this is 04. Okay, so some thoughts on this. I'm going to go back to the packaging, to the claims. So yes, they have 3 different shades in here, but there's no way I can think of you actually using this other than if you were to take a eyeshadow brush and then use it individually for like your crease shade or contouring. But otherwise, if you're thinking about using all 3 different shades for bronzing tones, it's not going to happen. That would be my first thing about that. Gentle formula made with 87% ingredients of natural origin. I don't know what that means, other than I think that's a marketing thing that people are doing now. I don't know what natural origin means. To me, that seems really gimmicky. I think Dior started doing that last year. That doesn't really compel me to buy or not buy a product. So I'll just put that out there. Hyaluronic acid, that's good for skin and moisturizing. So great if it has skincare benefits, but I'm not going to rely on my cosmetics to give me my skincare. And then it enhances all skin types, even sensitive. I have sensitive skin and rosacea, so I can't tell you right away if that's actually true. What I'm going to do is keep using this through the next 2 months, and then I do my roundup. So what I actually look at is the ingredients, and what I tend to do is the one ingredient I will not buy, mostly in bronzers particularly, is bismuth. So bismuth is a product that's in a lot of bronzers and cheek products, and I found, for example, Hourglass has a lot of bismuth in their bronzers and cheek products. And because I was probably 4 years ago, I used to wear a lot of Hourglass, but I was like breaking out here, and that's actually some of the scarring I have is actually because of bismuth. So I will not use that. And I have eczema. So if it really was supposed to be for sensitive skin, my thing would be that they shouldn't put perfume in here. So probably the 8th product in here listed as parfum, fragrance, and there's definitely fragrance in this bronzer. So I don't know if I can even promote that as for sensitive skin, because if you really truly have sensitive skin, you're not going to want perfume in there. Okay, so I don't mean to be a negative Nancy, but I'm just giving you all a really like honest review. This product is made in Italy and it's a 12-month shelf life. The other thing I wanted to mention is that this is supposed to be a refillable design. So there is that little pin here in the back, do you see, that you can push, and it says the refills will soon be available on Selfridges. So I know some of you might have actually bought some of these or one of these and they're like, gosh, I want to get the other one. Well, I probably should have waited, but I just love bronzers. I couldn't wait. And that's exactly what I did with the Victoria Beckham. So my winter shade, I'm actually a 03 like every day. I love, this is my favorite matte bronzer. And then as I get deeper, the 03 wasn't working for me anymore. So I ended up getting a 04, which is, you know, the refillable. So in the summer months, I'm going to take out 03. This is also refillable, and pop that out. So I love that high-end luxury products are doing that. In terms of the packaging, I can see why people were saying they didn't like the packaging from the blushes. I think what I've seen is that this is the same packaging, but this is bigger, right? It's 18 grams. So the plastic does feel a little chintzy to me for the price that I'm paying. This is pretty though. I love that. That is their Hermes logo. Here I have about 3 or 4 of the Hermes lipsticks, and that is the logo. I think it is beautiful. I just wish they spent a little bit more on the packaging. The matte brass is beautiful. It just can feel a little bit weightier. Like when my favorite packaging, luxe packaging, has to be Victoria Beckham for my bronzers. But you know, like the Chanel one isn't all that special too. Like I love that it's a big mirror, but at least it does actually feel weightier. And so the other thing I'll do is compare it in terms of size of like, this is the Le Beige Oversized Healthy Glow Sun Kissed Bath Powder Sun Bath. I'm sorry, beauty fam. Just so many words. These cosmetic companies are just like just like tripping us up with all their words. So it looks bigger, right? But this is 15 grams. This says it's 15 grams and this is 18. So this is 18 grams. So it's actually bigger. It's slightly bigger even though the packaging is bigger. So just for comparisons, this is the Chanel and this is the Hermes. And it's about 3 grams bigger. And then the other one I want to compare it to is, this is like massive packaging. This is the Tom Ford Gold Dust, the ultimate bronzer. Actually, I don't think they make these anymore. They're probably reformulating Tom Ford bronzers. This is actually 15 grams and this is 18 grams, which tells me that although the packaging on the Tom Ford is bigger, the pan probably goes deeper on the Hermes because it looks, yeah, it's it just shows you how the illusion of packaging kind of works. So yeah, this is Tom Ford is definitely 15 grams and then Hermes 18 grams. So out of all my bronzers, this is like the most like product out of all of them. So, and I think the Plein Air collection is supposed to be kind of a collection that's supposed to make things look more radiant. It says here on the Selfridges, Hermes first entered the world of beauty with its now selling lipstick collection that quickly gained a cult following thanks to the range of versatile shades. Now the Parisian powerhouse is extending its portfolio and introduces the Plein Air collection, filled with everything you need to achieve a radiant complexion. The assortment includes the Healthy Glow Powder. Powered by natural ingredients and hyaluronic acid, it leaves you with a blurred and illuminated finish. So what I can say in terms of finishing up my review is that I don't think this is necessarily marketed specifically as a bronzer. And I think that's actually, I don't want to give any judgment to it. I feel like Chanel did the same thing. And I don't know if that's a sneaky marketing thing, but they never said this was a bronzer. They said this was a powder. So a lot of us were using this as bronzers. And the problem with things like Chanel, and I'm seeing with Hermes, is that they have really limited shade range. So by saying it's a powder, they can get away with not having deeper products for bronzers, even though we're using them as bronzers. Does that make sense? Like, our deeper skin beauties might be able to use this as an all-over powder, whereas someone who's a more fair and lighter skin, I'm using this as a bronzer. So, you know, I think they should come out with more shade ranges? Yes, for sure. So I feel like that's kind of a way they got around with maybe not having, they only have 5 shades of these, right? So if this deepest one is the one I'm kind of leaning towards, I just think about our deeper skin beauties who want to try this product as well. So just that, I'll put that out for just some food for thought. And then it's also marketed, the name of it is Healthy Glow Mineral Powder. For sure, there's definitely a glow to this product, and I'll get in closer again. And I think you really saw it yesterday more where I used this product, that you can't see it to the naked eye that there's a glow in there, but on my face there's definitely a glow. And you tell me what you think. Okay, so I think that's my final review. A lot of you have asked me which one should you get. So if you're my shade or lighter, or you run neutral, and check out my foundation shades below. If you're my shade or lighter, I would say, and you like more like of a more natural looking and brown kind of bronzer, I would say go for 03 Sahara. So you can see it's definitely more brown looking, and I think it's just as beautiful as the other one. Super pretty, right? So I just wanted to show you that it can be built up. I would never wear this much bronzer, but for the sake of the video, I just want to show you what the undertones look like. Okay, I hope that helps. So who's 044? 44. See what I did there? This is for someone who is probably my shade, right? Like this, and you don't mind like a little bit more intense, and you can use this as a 2-in-1, right? It's definitely more red. I think if you're deeper than me, get this for sure, because I'm adding a lot, but I went in lighter just because that's just my preference of how I like to do my bronzer. But I think it's so pretty. And it's a bit too much. I just wanted to again show you where it could be built up. And so this is definitely more brown, this is more red. And so if you're deeper than me, I would say for sure get the 04 Sienne. I would probably go maybe up to 1 to 3 or maybe 4 shades deeper than me, but that's stretching it. And then I know there's like only one more shade deeper than this. I think it's number 5. Number 5 is Colorado. So I hope that's helpful. If you have bought this product already, let me know which one you are gravitating towards. And again, I think if you're my shade range, you could go either way. It depends on if you want something more natural with more brown, or if you want something more red. And for me, I get really frustrated with my products is I get deeper in the summer. If I can't use my products, it's just sitting there for a good 3, maybe 4 months. And these things have a shelf life. So that's why for me, I think I would recommend 04. And yes, it runs a little bit more red, but there's, you know, you also don't have to go as ham as I did and use as much product as I did. Show you the trick on tamping it down so it doesn't look as impactful as this. So I'm just taking my Chantecaille Perfect Blur powder, or you can just take any powder really in your collection. I'm taking like a really kind of thick brush. This is the BK 105 brush. And I'm just going in. I like to do this to sculpt, right? Just so I can have a more chiseled look. And if it's ever too much, just go in with your powder and tamp it down a little bit. See how that just kind of brought everything down? And I just think it looks so pretty still. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing over here. And you can see when I tamp it down, it definitely looks more brown on that side. But this looks like almost like a bronzer and blush combo. That's what I like about that. I'm so happy I picked these up. Did I need both? No. And what I'll do is as I'm testing out these products in the next couple weeks, I tend to try to pin a comment below, so make sure to subscribe to my channel, and that way you can kind of get updates on the products. Products. Okay, that's it, beauty fam. That are my final thoughts. Let me know what you think. Did you like 04 more or 03? 4 or 3? Okay, that's it. So remember to subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Helps me out. And if you comment and like below. And then as always, please be very kind to yourself and others, and just be you, beauty fam. Take good care. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.